Hello guys and welcome back to Christian Finance for your daily financial content. Today I would like to go over Cathie Wood's latest statements on CNBC from this morning. For those of you that don't know who she is, she's the founder of ARK Invest, and many younger folks especially have been invested in her ETFs, whether it's the ARKK or ARKW or any of her other ARK index funds. Many people are familiar with her work, and the reason why she's so popular is because she has a long-term outlook, 5 to 10 years, and her index funds are all about long-term disruptive technology companies for the most part. She gained an immense amount of popularity during the early part of the pandemic, and her ETFs were killing it, right? It was pretty crazy some of the returns people were getting. Since about a year ago or so, all of her stocks have been massively shorted, and in my opinion, it has been a lot of coordinated attacks against her, right? Because she was gaining so much popularity and she was making folks a lot of money. I do think it was certain people collaborating against her, which, it is what it is. And now it's on a massive decline, and you can definitely say that her ETFs are probably in a depression or even recession, but that's a topic for another video. But regardless of all of this, she's still very respected, and her point of view is one that people still look up to. So let's go and see what she has to say. Okay, so that's interesting. So here she actually confirmed that, yes, we are in a recession.
We were wrong on one thing, and that was inflation being as sustained as it has been. Supply chain, I can't believe it's taken more than 2 years. And Russia's invasion of Ukraine, of course, we couldn't have seen that. So inflation has been a bigger problem, but I think that it has set us up for deflation. I've been listening to your program. I heard Ken Langone talk about being in recession now. Jeremy Siegel, same. We think we're in a recession.
But yeah, it's good to see that she's taking some responsibility. Obviously, she couldn't predict the inflation would be as high and as brutal as it is. And obviously it is. But I think many people wouldn't have predicted. Although you could say that when you print so much money over and over and over again, and realistically it didn't start 2020, but it started at the end of the last recession, the 2008 recession. That is really when the government started printing money. I mean, you could definitely see this happening eventually, right? When there's too much money, the prices will start to increase at some point, and that's what we're seeing right now. And it's really not a good situation, but I'm confident we will get out of it eventually. I mean, if we look at it just by definition alone, it just means that we have 2 quarters in a row of negative GDP. And obviously the first one, which is January through March, we had a decrease in 1.5% during that time period. And obviously right now we're end of June, and we're going to be receiving soon the stats for this quarter. And I can almost guarantee that it's going to be negative, and we are going to be in official recession. But yeah, it's good to see that she is taking responsibility for what has happened, and that she didn't quite foresee the inflation, which I think many people didn't really see coming. I think many people think we're gonna get away with it quite easily. I don't personally think that we will. But then again, I think we'll recover. And right now, during the next 1 year or 2 years, or however long this recession and depression lasts, it's gonna be the best time to actually go in and buy up as much as possible from our high conviction, well-researched stocks or cryptos, right? Specifically Bitcoin in specific. Gary Gensler, of course, is the top guy of the SEC, and he came out saying that he views Bitcoin as a commodity, which is huge. That just means that the SEC is not going to be going after it and having lawsuits after it. But the rest of the altcoins are considered securities as of the latest information that we have. So that's not great, but at least Bitcoin we know is secure to some extent.
And we think a really big problem out there is inventories, the likes of the increase of which I've never seen this large in my career. And I've been around for 45 years. And we're talking about the best managed companies in the world. If you're talking about Walmart and Target, they know how to manage supply chain. So if they have problems.
I agree with the supply chain shortage. I'm surprised as well that even companies like Walmart and Target are struggling. Like, that's pretty crazy, but I do know someone that works in the supply chain management for a local company, and he says it's slowly getting better, or at least it's not getting worse, which is a good sign. And I think slowly we'll see the end of this one by one. Eventually inflation will decrease, and that means the interest rates will decrease and the supply shortages will somewhat get back to normal. But again, it'll take time to fix all these problems. I just want to end it off with some Warren Buffett. I think it's quite fitting. Obviously, he's the greatest investor of all time. I think it's not even arguable, really. But during last year, when we had peak prices of everything, right, he was actually selling and holding off from buying. But now, since the job has started, he has been accumulating quite a lot this year, including Apple and Occidental Petroleum are just some of the stocks that he bought more shares of during this bear market recession time. And I'm sure that he'll continue to add during these low times, because his saying is one of my favorite. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. It's a perfect saying. With that, guys, the video's over. Let me know what you thought about Cathie Wood's latest remarks that we are in a recession already. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Also, slap a like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Any little bit of support that you show, it does go a long way. Let me know other similar content you'd like me to do next in the financial space, of course. And as always, guys, stay diversified. Yeah, I agree with many of the things that Cathie has said. And the good thing is that, yes, like I said before, the good news is she does have a long-term outlook of 5 to 10 years. And I do believe that we will recover. The only way we don't is we go into a Japan situation where the markets are down since 30 years ago. But I just don't think that this will be the case. I think we'll recover once again. It will just take a little bit of time. Maybe a year, maybe 2, maybe 3. This isn't financial advice. I want you guys to do your own research. This is just information based on mine.